talk today about a little bit about Compassionate Leader Circle, a little bit about key definitions, specifically what is purpose. And then we're going to do a little activity that we work through with people called your pivot with purpose type. There are 7 pivot types. We'll get into that. Then we'll do a little bit of takeaways, like what's an action plan you can do based on your pivot with purpose type. And then I'll talk to you briefly about Purpose Club that we're launching on October 8th. And I'm also monitoring the chat. So if you have anything you want to ask, I'll try to get to that quickly. So at CLC, we talk about cultivating clarity. We have 26 years of experience. We design and customize leadership journeys within organizations for individuals such as yourselves, and actually at K through 12 organizations. And we've helped hundreds of people specifically through our purpose products turn their dreams into reality, take what feels like a disappointing chapter and turn it into something where they feel like they have agency and power over their career. You are here if I'm wondering for any of you what brought you here today. I wonder if any of this resonates with you. You have a feeling, you can't quite put a finger on it. You're meant to do something more or different. You want to do work that's more fulfilling and also get paid for it. You want to grow in advance, but either pay or work makes you feel a bit empty. And it's hard to achieve when work leaves you stressed and depleted. If I'm just curious if that doesn't, if those don't apply to anyone here in the room, please put something in the Q&A and let me know if you come in with a different scenario. I'd always love to hear it. So what is purpose? Purpose is a word that I think we all understand in just like in the common English language, but purpose as it pertains to what we do here, you can think of it in 3 ways. A declaration of contribution based on values. So in other words, what do you want to do or be in this world based on what you care about deeply? Number 2 on that list, your deeper why. Why am I doing this? There's got to be some purpose to this. And the reason for which you do something. That's how we talk about purpose. Why purpose matters. I'm not going to read all the blurbs here and the statistics here about why purpose matters, but there's a lot of great data and research over the last 2 decades about why purpose, meaningful work, and work that is satisfying to individuals has all sorts of beneficial outcomes, from raises, promotions, productivity, resilience, and actually health-related outcomes such as heart disease, diabetes, cancer, anxiety, depression. So purpose, meaningful work, it matters. It's not a nice to have, it's a need to have. And we can mine your current job for purpose, or we can help you find something new. This is a really fun model that our CEO and founder, Laurel Donnellan, created called the Remarkable Work Model. And I remember when I first saw this, something deeply resonated. Something deeply resonated for me about the model. And that is this idea that some of us are living in unremarkable work territory, right? The average person spends 90,000 hours of their life working. And if it feels unremarkable, it can feel like a thunderstorm, a rainstorm. Remarkable work is your umbrella. It's your protector. And underneath remarkable work, there are 2 main buckets of work. There's what we call bridge work and soul work. Your bridge work is maybe the work you're doing or trying, projects, volunteering, exploration, things that you're doing in the meantime to get you to your soul work. Okay? That bridge work might be, I quit my job, I just need an hourly job to get me by, or I have this dream of starting my own business. Maybe I can do some freelancing on the side, before I completely leave my work and I launch something new. That's bridge work. Soul work is the absolute best use of your passions and talents. So soul work, as we define it, is the absolute best use of your passions and talents. Passions because you love it, talents because you're good at it. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean you love it. It's got to be both passion and talent. So that's the remarkable work model. And I'll just give you a high level overview of the Donnellan method. So when we do purpose work, and we do this with big groups, we do this one-on-one, we do this online, we do this with in-person retreats, we always go through the 12 principles of the Donnellan method. And we do some really cool soul work, individual work, group work. Today, as we talk about purpose, or in general, when we talk about purpose, you can see it down there in the black box. It's number 10 of 12. Meaning, you don't just like wake up one day and show up to your first day of class and go like, I have my purpose figured out. It takes a lot of work to get there. We do a lot of work in steps 1 through 9 to get to integrity, claim a purpose. So if it feels like some big thing or something you're not sure about, it's like, well, yeah, of course. It takes some time to get there. I've got a purpose statement and I'm on draft number 8. And I do this for work and I always call it a draft because I'm honing it. So today we'll talk a little bit about purpose and pivoting with purpose with a little bit more clarity. And I'm going through a lot quickly and I can't see your faces. So if I'm going too fast or too slow or anything, please pop into the Q&A and let me know what I can do differently. Would be helpful for you. Pause. We do a lot of pausing at Compassionate Leader Circle, sort of calm ourselves down and reflect. So we're going to take a pause right here, and I'm going to do a bit of a guided meditation that we do when we're thinking and talking about purpose. So I can't see you all. This is going to be like an honor code. I am going to lead you through a meditation. If you would please find a comfortable way to sit with your feet on the ground and your hands in your lap. Close your eyes, and for the next few minutes, do your best to focus on my voice and your own breath. Try not to change your breath, just notice it. Breathe in and breathe out, doing your best to let go of everything on your mind. Everything that has happened so far today and everything that will happen later. Now, in your mind's eye, breathe in the idea of purpose and breathe everything else in your mind out. Breathe in the idea of purpose and your greater why. Breathe out everything else. Do that on your own for about 20 seconds. And if you get distracted, return to the word purpose. Now, as you continue to close your eyes and breathe, ask yourself a simple question. What is at my center? What is something positive at my center? The answer may be quiet or strong. The answer may be an image a word, a phrase, or a feeling? What is at my center? What is something positive at my center? And as you breathe in purpose and you think about your why, don't think about your why from last year or your why for next year. What's your why right now? When you have an answer, bring that into your heart and you can open your eyes and come back to this group. I'd be curious if anyone wants to share. Um, feel free to pop into the Q&A what came to mind, if it was a color or an image or who knows what. Feel free to pop that into the chat. You don't need to. But that's a meditation that we do often and in longer form, often when we have more time. So a lot of our sessions are 90 minutes. That imaging and that coming down the nervous system actually can bring tremendous clarity if it's done over time in lockstep with other exercises. So congratulations. You actually did hopefully a fairly painless but powerful exploration of something that is intrinsic inside you, that has deep meaning, that whether you've explored it or not, is important to you right now and is potentially tied to purpose, whether it's work purpose, or a personal purpose. So I'm going to move on from our pause. Wow, that does not look right. We're going to talk today about, let's try this again. We're going to talk today about a pivot with purpose. What does that mean? In our 26 years of experience, we have found that there are generally 7 types of pivoters. And you can see them on the left of your screen. I want to make sure y'all are seeing my right screen. There we go. Okay, so on the left side, we've got learners. And I want you to think about this because we're going to talk about, and you're going to try to figure out your purpose type today. We also have a free quiz you can take online, but why not do it here in real time? Okay, so if you're a learner, you are in need of a change, but you don't have a clear vision for what that is. If you are a liker, you like your job, but you really want to love it. A leaper, you want to change jobs or companies, and you are in a job search. A lancer, you want to start or grow a freelance career. A launcher, you want to start or grow a division, business, or organization. A leaver, you want to focus on your legacy. This could be succession planning, get into mentoring, retirement, or volunteering, right? What do you want to bring to the world? And a linker, you are committed to a vision for what is next that includes 2 or more of the above. And if you don't know right now, that's okay. Just think about what maybe calls to you most clearly in this moment. And each pivot type goes through a different journey, right? So we follow those 12 principles I showed you in the Donnellan method, but some of the activities are different depending on which of the 7 L's you are. So I'm going to give us just another moment to noodle on which pivot type calls to you. Right, I'm monitoring the Q&A. We're good. Okay. And then next, I'm going to talk about your pivot with purpose strategy, depending on which of the L's you are. So if you're a learner and you're not quite sure what you want, but you know it's something else, we talk about focusing on identifying and developing your passions. If you're a liker, you like your work, but you want to love it, focus on sculpting the role you have with more clarity and focus and attention to your strengths, and ideally develop a meaningful project. Project could fall under many sort of definitions, but if you're a leaper, you want to leap to something different. You may be in a job search. It's about exploring possibilities. If you're a lancer, you want to start some sort of freelance career and you have ideas, get out there with people, get your ideas out there and work on your pitch. You don't have to keep it all to yourself. Get out there and explore and express yourself and see what resonates with trusted friends and mentors. If you're a launcher and you want to launch a business, focus on identifying the people to partner with. At CLC, in the work that we do, we call this your vision tribe. Who is the tribe of trusted folks you want to bring in with and explore with? If you're a leaver and it's time to move to the next chapter of career or retirement, priorities, what do you value and how do you want to prioritize your time now that you maybe are going to have more of it? And then a linker. You've got a lot of interest and you want to combine two or more of these L's above. Plan. Sitting down and thinking about a plan to develop each of these L's properly. So think back on the purpose type. And then these are the strategies that you might want to think about for which pivot with purpose type you are. Does anyone, I'm going to ask a question to the group here. Is anyone like, I still have no idea what pivot with purpose type I am? Okay, wonderful. You all have a lot of clarity, more clarity than maybe I had. All right. Third and final step. I want you to get a notepad or type on your phone or take some sort of note and think about your pivot with purpose action, depending on which of the L's you are. We do a very cool thing with folks in some of our programs where they're trying to figure out what it is. And I think a lot of times we think about a career and the next step we might take in our career based on what our past roles have been. Well, I did X, Y, and Z on my resume, and so I guess that's what I should be looking for in a job. Yes, but we don't often stop and go, what do I love to do? Not just what have I done, what do I love to do? And so we tell people, we lead people through a passion hunt. If you want to you want to go from liking to loving and you want to maybe develop a project, meet with your most creative colleague or a trusted friend to discuss possible projects. Do you have a trusted boss? Do you have a friend whose career path you admire and you want to run the ideas past him or her? It's important to sort of get out of your own universe and go out into the world and get ideas out there with trusted folks. If you're a leaper and you need to explore the possibilities, Brainstorm a list of 20 possibilities for work based on what you love. The key there is based on what you love. Okay, not just 20 possibilities because, like, yeah, I've done that before and I know I can do that work. Maybe. But based on what you love, there's no bad ideas when you're brainstorming. If you want to become a lancer and freelance and pitch is sort of the next activity, talk to a past or potential client to better hone your pitch. I had this idea forever about opening my own bookstore, and I was thinking about it, and it hasn't come to fruition yet. And I was too scared to talk to people about it. And then I finally talked to my friend who's like an avid, she actually loves bookstores, not just buying books online. And I sort of pitched it to her. And yes, it hasn't come to fruition yet, but putting things out into the universe is powerful. Okay, so pitch. If you're a launcher, get with people, meet with your top 3 people. Those could be collaborators or advisors. If you're a leaver and you want to leave a legacy, generate a list of causes and people you want to invest time with in your next chapter. And if you're a linker and you want to come up with a plan for maybe multiple things, take 10, 20 minutes and create, this says long-term vision, but just jot down a vision for each role. Again, no bad ideas when you're brainstorming. So I've talked a lot at you. I don't know if you all are still there or, awake or enjoying this, but these 7 L's are sort of a powerful framework for thinking about, here I am, how do I navigate what's next? So I'll pause on that thought. I just wanted to let you all know that we've had hundreds of people go through our purpose programs, and these are some really fun examples of people who have gone through our program, either in one-on-one format or a group format, and have changed their lives. So left their careers, launched something different, started a side business, a pottery business. Alice there, launched Green Soul Shoes. Kent finally followed his dreams and became a professional artist. These are 4 of many stories, but I wanted to highlight them because, I can preach all I want, but these are people who have made it happen. And then lastly, let's just do a little recap of a personal action plan based on what we discussed. Okay, so in the next 7 days, what can you do based on one of the L's that you've identified for yourself? Take one small step related to your pivot with purpose type strategy. You're going to have a conversation with someone, you're going to write a list of ideas, you're going to explore passions, not just skills, but passions. Talk it out. Get with someone who you respect, you trust, you know, and love. And talk about purpose. Talk about what came up in your heart today, where your mind is after thinking about this. And then lastly, if you want to scan that QR code, we've got a purpose reality check. So that's a really fun, very quick, free tool that you can use to discover where you are on your path to purpose. And then depending on where you are, you will receive little tips for your next step towards remarkable work. If you're not getting all this now, have no fear. Everyone who signed up for the webinar will get an email follow-up with this deck. So there's lots of QR codes and places to follow up there. And then lastly, I just want to do a soft pitch for our Purpose Club, which is launching October 8th. So we've done a lot of this work one-on-one. We've done it in retreat form. This is our first time taking a big cohort and creating a community online where people can do this work in a real live group. So October 8th, we're launching. We've got 8 live 90-minute sessions. So that's 12 hours of work. We'll go deep on the 12 principles of the Donnellan Method. You'll get your own digital workbook We'll create a community. It will not be lecturing. It will not be me talking at a amorphous Zoom cloud. There will be breakouts and journaling. And then part of the package is you'll get one-on-one coaching with me in addition to the 12 hours of group work. So thank you all for listening. I will stay on here if you want to sort of raise your hand and have any conversation with me. Um, Also, if you want to have one-on-one time with me, there's a QR code on the screen. Feel free to take a little snapshot there and you can book one-on-one time with me to talk about any or all of this. And I just appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. I'll stay online for a bit longer if anyone wants to talk.